People have died in our parks. Come on in. Disneyland and Disney World are known as the happiest places on Earth. Traveling there is the goal of countless families who want to visit a place of pure joy. But they aren't all that they seem to be. In fact, they hold a few dark secrets. Secrets that Disney would definitely prefer that you did not know. So, allow me to tell you exactly what those are. Here are 10 secrets Disney theme parks don't want you to know. Number 1 is people have died there. Even the happiest place on Earth has its dark days. And believe it or not, since the first Disney theme park opened in Anaheim, California on July 17th, 1955, there have been many deaths at parks around the world. Now, a lot of people have died from pre-existing health conditions, but there have also been a number of freak accidents and ride malfunctions that have claimed the lives of both park guests and employees. Now, the stats are kept pretty quiet, but what we do know is that between 2005 and 2006, there were at least 4 reported deaths and 19 injuries at just the Florida parks. The first ever reported death at Disneyland happened in May of 1964 when 15-year-old Mark Maples fell out of the Matterhorn bobsleds when he stood up in his seat. On February 14th, 1999, a custodian was killed when he fell 40 feet from a platform on the Fantasyland Skyway. This after a cast member activated the lift without anybody knowing about it. This led to the ride being shut down permanently later that same year. Number 2 are feral cats. Here's a disturbing fact for you. At Disneyland in California, there's an estimated 100 feral cats wandering the park. Have fun! When the cats first started prowling around, many workers wanted to get rid of them, but it turns out having a ton of cats hanging around is basically free pest control, since they were hunting all the mice and rats that were knocking at Mickey's door, which is super ironic if you think about it. That in and of itself was reason enough to let them just hang around apparently. But in all fairness, the streetwise alley cats are able to keep their freedom, and Disney does in fact make sure that they're healthy and taken care of. It's now official park policy to make sure that all the cats are tagged, vaccinated, and neutered. Generally speaking, they stay away from the guests and only come out at night when the park is empty. But that's generally speaking. You don't want some feral cat to walk up to you and be like, and just now you have a disease. Thanks, Disney. Number 3 are undercover cops. Have you ever been to one of the Disney parks and felt as if someone was watching you? And I don't just mean all those giant Baloos and Goofies wandering around. Well, it turns out you're feeling that way because someone probably is. In fact, there are countless security guards wandering through the grounds, even though you can't see them. The majority of these guards are undercover and are blending in by wearing plain clothes and accessories, including random souvenirs any guest could grab from kiosks and stores within the park. And obviously, they dress this way so they can keep an eye on everyone without being noticed or causing any alarm. That way, if anyone decides to do something against the park rules, like for example, get drunk and start punching Goofies, or steal something from the stores, the plainclothes cops can start cracking skulls. It takes a lot of work to keep everything Hakuna Matata. Number 4 are Smellitzers. If you've ever been to a busy theme park in the middle of the summer with hundreds of people walking around, eating and sweating, you know that air isn't exactly yummo. But the folks of Disney have figured that out. They've created and patented something called air Smellitzers. The Smellitzers are hidden everywhere and fill the air with pleasant smells that match the locations in the park. Some of the smells include freshly baked cookies on Main Street, USA, citrus and pine trees in the Soarin' ride, and fresh sea air at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. They even have a musty old boiler room smell for the Tower of Terror. And the site-specific scents do more than just make something that should smell funky smell fresh. They also get you in the spirit of wherever you are in the kingdom. Their hope is that you'll buy something like delicious cookies or spend more time in the park to feel like you're really relaxing by the ocean. Leave it to Disney to figure out a way to keep you smiling and buying when actually you're surrounded by nasty, nasty smells. Number 5 are underground tunnels. Like any great place of magic and mystery, Disney World in Orlando, Florida is full of secret hidden underground tunnels. But the magic kind of stops there. The tunnels are actually called utilidors, short for utility corridors, and while it's the largest system of its kind in the world, they're actually used for a rather unpleasant job. That job is keeping garbage collection away from the guests. And the tunnels get really hot and smelly, as you would imagine, and what's worse, unfortunately for cast members, they have to use them too. In order to keep the kingdom feeling magical, Walt Disney decided that it should be designed so that cast members in costume wouldn't be seen in parts of the park that they were out of place in. The idea actually came to Walt Disney when he was in the original Disneyland in California and saw a cowboy walking around Tomorrowland. Yeah, not exactly the magical immersive experience he was going for. Number 6 is autograph training. Autograph training is a serious part of the job. Character signatures must stay the same at all times. In fact, they have extremely strict guidelines that they have to follow when it comes to signing something that guests present them with. Before a cast member is able to start interacting with guests, they are thoroughly trained on how to write their character's autograph, which they have to keep practicing until it can be done perfectly at any moment. Anyone playing the character in question must keep a similar signature. Consistency is the key at the Magic Kingdom, which makes sense. You don't want two people dressing as Ariel giving two completely different signatures. That would just destroy the magic. And if you're wondering, it's not just park-wide, it's internationally too. You could go to any Disney theme park in the world and all of the characters will have the exact same autograph. Trust me, people have actually compared them. Number 7 are no selfies are allowed. Despite getting their picture taken hundreds of times a day, cast members are forbidden from taking pictures of themselves in costume and sharing them on social media. Which again makes sense. There's not a whole lot of magic in seeing a Snapchat of Aladdin in a pair of Uggs halfway through a burrito. If any of the cast members are caught taking selfies, they'll instantly lose their job. But selfies aren't just banned backstage. In fact, in the summer of 2015, Disney banned the use of selfie sticks all through the parks around the world. They made the decision because not only are they super annoying, but because they were becoming a huge safety risk. On June 24th, 2015, a guest busted out a selfie stick while on the California Screamin' roller coaster at the Disney California Adventure Park. The ride was immediately shut down and all passengers were evacuated due to what park management called a safety concern. Yeah, don't risk everybody's lives just so you could pose for a duck face. Why not just take the picture with Donald Duck later? It'll be way better, I guarantee it. Number 8 is Disney is a world all its own. In keeping with the no selfies rule, all cast members must remember that Disney parks are the only worlds that their characters are aware of. What this means is, as soon as the outfit is on, they must stay in character at all times. Which seems like a given, especially since they're interacting with kids who truly believe that they're meeting their on-screen heroes. But it's more than just a costume and a signature. For Disney cast members, when in character, nothing exists outside of the Disney universe. In other words, they're to have no knowledge of technology, famous actors, sport teams, popular brands, or even YouTube. Unless it's been in a Disney movie, it doesn't exist. But even if it shouldn't exist to them, the characters aren't allowed just to say, I don't know, and leave it at that. If you do ask them something from outside the Disney universe, they have to keep it vague and respond that they've never heard of it. Number 9 is picking up trash gracefully. As magical as the Disney parks may be, garbage still exists and there will always be some that doesn't make it to the trash bin. But worry not though. If there's a cast member around, it's actually part of their job to collect the rubbish and put it in the garbage themselves. Yes, you heard me right. Poor Cinderella can't catch a damn break. However, since these are magical creatures, princes and princesses that we're talking about, they aren't allowed to simply just bend over and pick up litter like the rest of us would. No, instead, they must gracefully scoop up the piece of garbage. Staying in character is incredibly important, and jobs like this don't change anything. Hey, at least the park is kept clean. Plus, as Mary Poppins said, in every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. Disney has, of course, tried to keep this to a minimum by ensuring that there is a garbage can at no more than 30 steps away at any point in the whole park. Oh gosh, is that a used diaper? I'd be happy to pick it up. And number 10 is unofficial burial grounds. This last secret is only a little darker than the first. Not only does the Disney Corporation have rules against people participating in this particular act, they'd rather nobody knows it's ever happened. Since the Disney parks are so popular and beloved by millions, it only makes sense that some people would never want to leave. And I'm not just talking about a kid being like, "Hey mom, can we ride the teacups again?" No, I mean I want to stay in the land of magic forever type of thing. That's right, many people have decided that after passing away, they want to have their ashes spread at the happiest place on earth. Several people have actually requested to have their ashes scattered in certain places in the parks, usually by their favorite ride or a body of water in a scenic part of the kingdom. But Disney, of course, has to reject these requests, but that hasn't stopped some devoted mourners from trying to dump their dearly departed in secret. Because of this, some staff members had to be trained on how to safely remove human ashes, and many rides even have filters placed appropriately so to remove any human particles from the air. Oh, that was creepy. Oh! So, those were 10 secrets Disney theme parks don't want you to know. So the question of the day is, did you know about any of these, or are there any other secrets that you know about? Share with the group. Leave your comments below because I'll be reading through them and I'm going to pin the best one to the top. But as always, thank you guys so much for coming by today, and don't forget to come back tomorrow and every weekday at exactly 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time because I'll have a brand new video for you. I'll see you then.